Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I'm one of the travel agents with Marvelous Mouse Travels. We are the agency that runs this Facebook group, as well as several others that are focused on different destinations. We are a You Preferred agency with Universal Parks and Resorts, and we were also chosen by them as the top travel agency for 2019. So, welcome to Sundays with MMT. This is a weekly live agent video panel series that we do in one of our Facebook groups every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we are really excited to be in this group tonight to talk to you about universal dining plans. So, we have a lot of information that we're going to be sharing with you, but we definitely want to save some time at the end of this video to take your questions. So, if at any point during the video you have a question, feel free to go ahead and drop that into the comment section, and we will get to all of our questions at the end of the video. We are live tonight using a program known as StreamYard, and StreamYard might ask you to approve it to display your name and profile picture if you want to post a question. Just know that you can decline that permission and you can still post that question or comment anonymously, and we'll still be able to interact with you. But I'm joined tonight by three awesome MMT agents. So, ladies, thank you so much for being here tonight. If you would please just take a second to tell us your name, how long you've been with the agency, and the best way for people to contact you if they're interested in planning a vacation.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tracy Hope, and I have been lucky enough to be with Marvelous Mouse Travels for about a year and a half now. And you can best reach me at tracy.hope@marvelousmousetravels.com.
Hi, I'm Nikki Kennedy. I've been with the agency for almost 3 years now, and you can find me on Instagram at Your Family Travel Planner.
Hi, everybody. I am Katie Taylor. I have been with the agency for a little over 5 years now. I'm a master travel planner, and the best way to get in touch with me is through my Facebook page, which is Traveling with Katie T. So give me a shout out, and I'll be happy to help.
And again, I'm Ginger, and I have been with the agency almost 3 years as well. I'm a master planner too, and the best way to get in touch with me is actually my blog, which is gingermmt.com. So, ladies, I don't know if you have experienced this with your clients, but I feel like one of the most common question that I get from my clients is whether or not I think the universal dining plans are a good value, and really like what the universal dining plans entail, because there are different options to choose from. They all have slightly different inclusions, and they work differently, the dining plans at Universal, than some of the other Orlando area theme parks run their dining plans. And so lots of times I think sometimes people have questions as to just how it works at Universal and whether or not it's a good deal. And so I thought that maybe the best way for us to start would be to kind of go over the differences between those three dining plans and just kind of lay out what's included, where you can use it, and maybe some of our favorite places that we've personally used these dining plans in the parks. So let's start with the quick service dining plan. This is going to be Universal's least expensive dining plan option that they have. As of the making of this video, that one is pricing out at $37.26 per adult per day, including tax, or $28.74. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong price list. Back up a little bit. That one, as of the making of this video, is pricing out at $27.68 per adult per day, or $19.16 per child per day. So what is included in Universal's quick service dining plan?
Well, in the quick service dining plan, you get a full quick service meal, which includes an entree and a side and a drink. And some of the places, one of my favorite places, Richter's Burgers, you also get a milkshake with it. So it's a huge amount of food for that one quick service meal. Then you also get the two snacks or beverages, and you can mix and match those. That would be something like butterbeer, the best. Maybe some ice cream and some, French fries, cheese fries, things like that. That would be considered a snack, and then or a beverage.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I think that this one, like Katie said, just depending on where you use those credits, this can be a really phenomenal value for your family. So that's the next question that I was going to ask about this particular dining plan. What are some of your favorite places to use the universal quick service dining plan?
I personally love Mel's Diner. Maybe it's because there's also delicious milkshakes at Mel's Diner, but my family really enjoyed Mel's Diner. The food was really good. I felt for the value, it was definitely worth it. And you do also get a lot of food. And we also love Thunder Falls. Thunder Falls, we got barbecued ribs, we got corn on the cob, we had potatoes. It was a very hearty meal for the value. It was absolutely unbelievable. So they're two of my favorites.
And a couple of my favorites, of course, because I'm a Harry Potter fan, are the Leaky Cauldron and the Three Broomsticks. I have eaten, I think, at one of every meal at each one of those, and every single meal has been fantastic. So and just the ambiance of both places, if you're Harry Potter fans, it's huge. It's great. So and again, same. I know the breakfast that we got. And just to show you, I can do a comparison of how much it would cost with or without the dining plan. We went with my family of 5, and it was over $100. And no, I'm sorry, it was a family. My daughter was too young; she didn't have to pay for hers at the time, so it was really just 4 of us, and it was over $100 just for the meal. To eat for breakfast. I mean, it was crazy. And then, so basically you're paying $100 for 4 people, and you're still getting 2 snacks for free for each person. So that's like 8 free snacks.
Yeah.
So that tells you the price. I mean, that I just remember thinking we should have gotten the dining plan for that particular trip, because it was so much more expensive than if we had gotten the dining plan.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and it was a lot of food.
Absolutely. I agree. Those are 2 of my favorite places to use the quick service dining plan credits, and especially for breakfast. Like, I mean, I'm trying to remember last time I had breakfast at Leaky Cauldron. I got I think it was the like full American breakfast, and it had like, scrambled eggs, sausage, bacon, a croissant, that type of stuff. And I want to say it was like somewhere in the realm of like $16 or $17 for that breakfast. And so, considering that your whole all-in price with tax for an adult for that dining plan is $27.68, I'm essentially I'm doing really well from a financial standpoint if I'm using it correctly. And and that's kind of always the trick with dining plans, is to make sure that what you're ordering is a good value for the dining plan. So you're not going to want to use it on the most inexpensive item on the menu. You're going to want to try to use it at the most expensive one, or some of those locations that do have, those higher priced entrees and stuff like that. Let's see here. Let's talk next about the quick service dining plan with the refillable mug. Now, I know that a lot of people love that refillable Coke Freestyle mug that you can get in the parks. Here's a picture of mine from our last trip. And you can purchase this mug by itself, but you can also get it as part of the dining plan. If you just buy one of these mugs, I think it's somewhere in the realm of like $16 to $17. If you buy more, you can get them a little bit cheaper per item. But you can get it included with a quick service dining plan for $37.26 per adult per day, or $28.74 per child per day. So let's kind of go over for people what is involved in this refillable mug. Like, where can you fill it up? What can you fill it up with? How often can you fill it up? And so on and so forth.
Hey, Ginger, I want to point out that mug has a plastic straw, not a paper straw.
Yes, that is true.
Yes. Because that's a big deal.
Fantastic.
It is a big deal.
Then you can get away with your plastic straws.
Yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm not an overly fond of the paper straws myself.
Especially with kids, they're terrible. My 2-year-old goes through like 4 straws a meal because she just makes such a mess. So it's a good way around that rule.
Yeah. We got the refillable mug plan with the quick service dining last time, and we loved it. first of all, it's fun to kind of mix your favorites of soda up.
Mhm.
And you can refill them every 10 minutes. So if you don't like a flavor, you really don't have to wait very long. But when you really price out how much beverages cost at Universal
Mhm.
Studios, you quickly realize that mug is very, very good value. And even if you don't get the quick service meal with the mug every day, you can still reactivate it on the days that you don't have the dining
Mhm.
plan. I think it was like $9.99. And
Mhm.
when you're talking $4 for some of the Powerades and such, there's just such a huge
Mhm.
value, and the flavors that are offered. I mean, there's different kinds of diet waters and flavored drinks and juices for the kids, and it never was really very far away to get to one of those Coca-Cola Freestyle drink services, and we loved it. We had a great time playing with the flavors and just making sure we stayed hydrated during our trip.
Mhm. That's a great
I
point.
think when I'm on vacation too, I'm like, okay, I can make it this long before I buy another drink. Like that takes that away.
That's
That's like
fair.
my biggest thing with the meal plan too. I'm like, even if I break even, then I'm like, not like, oh, I'll just get the kids' meal because I don't want to spend any money. Like I'm on vacation. Like I don't want to worry about
Yes.
spending money on food. Like I just
Mhm.
want to eat all the good stuff and I want to get a drink when I want it. And it shouldn't be like, 10 minutes apart, but it
Hey,
could
it's
be just sit there and drink all day.
you could, and you can also fill those cups up with, like, ices and things too, so
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yes,
if
Mhm.
you're not a
Mhm.
soda fan, it's totally fine. There are plenty of different options,
absolutely.
for you for sure. Yeah, and I mean, we were there, we went shortly after the parks reopened we were there in July, I believe,
Oh,
Mhm.
and it was hot, and we were in masks, and, we made use of that refillable mug quite often, to cool off and everything because it's hot in Florida in July. Even when you're not wearing a mask, it is hot in
exactly.
Florida
Yeah.
in July. So
Mhm.
and also with that one, let's point out the fact that that quick service plan, yes, it comes with that mug, but it still comes with a quick service meal, and it still comes with a snack credit as well. So even though you can't refill that mug with butter beer, you can still get your butter beer
Right.
fix. You can just use
That would be
that snack
fantastic.
credit for it if you want. Yeah, I wish we could refill it with frozen butter beer. That's
That
what
would
I'd
be
do.
There you
awesome.
go.
You'd be wired at the end of the day, though. All that sugar, you're like,
So funny.
probably wouldn't be good. Um, so let's talk about that full service universal dining plan. Now, this is obviously the priciest option, but for a reason, it comes with the most inclusions. And again, depending on where you use this, it can be a phenomenal value. But the universal dining plan currently is pricing out at $60, or is it 60 or 69? I'm afraid I might have typoed that. Let me pull up my notes here real quick and double
While
check.
you're looking at that, I just want to point out too that I believe it's the quick service plan that doesn't expire, right?
Oh, that's true. Yes,
Right.
So
you
that's a
can roll
big
those
thing
credits
too.
over.
Unlike other places where when you check out, it's over.
It's
You can
gone
save it if you don't use it and use it the next time. So that makes it a really good value too.
for sure. And it is 69.21 per adult per day, or 26.61 per child per day. So you are getting quite a deal on the kids' meals with this, because if you compare the price that you're paying for a child on the universal dining plan, you're actually paying less than you are for a child on that refillable mug plan we just talked about, and you're only paying about $7 more than you are for a child on that quick service plan. So it's a really, really good deal for your kids. So let's talk a little bit about what's included in the universal full service dining plan.
Well, you get everything that you do with the Universal Quick Service Dining Plan, plus you get a table meal. So you can go to different restaurants such as Twosome, Jimmy Buffett's, um, uh, Big Fire.
Mhm.
There's Cowfish, so all kinds of different places, and have a nice meal with your family. Not worry about how much it costs. Not everything may be included on the menu, but
Mhm.
there's a huge variety that is included on the menu. Plus, you get a yummy dessert too. So it's definitely a
Yes.
good value if you want to eat good while you're at Universal. We found it very convenient and we loved it.
Mhm. Yeah, Tracy was telling us before we just started that she got the filet mignon at at Toothsome, which is obviously a great use of that credit
Yes.
because that's going to be one of the more pricey entrees on there. How will we know when we have the dining plan which entrees are included? Is there like a special logo on the menu, or do you have to ask your server? Kind of how do you know? What
I
was
don't
You
y'all's
can
remember there
do
being
experience?
a
both. There
logo.
was, I believe there was a logo on ours when we were, yeah. So there's like a logo. I remember the dessert, I'm not sure is on there because they do have like specific desserts, but your servers, I mean, they do this all day long. So
Mhm.
if you have any questions or anything, I know that there was a couple people in our group that had a gluten allergy that still used their plan. They just like modified it with the chef. Like they use this all the time. So they definitely will cater to what you need, even if it's not on the menu per se.
Mm-hmm. And that's another great thing, to note about Universal is that they are really good. If you do have a food allergy or a food sensitivity, they are really good about having, someone come out and talk to you about it, find out exactly what your needs are so that they can make sure that they take care of you. So, I know I personally have food allergies. And so that's always something that kind of sets my mind at ease a little bit when I travel, is that I know that, I can talk to somebody and they're going to do everything they can to make sure that they, serve me things that I can eat, and everything like that too. So what are some of your favorite places to use that universal dining plan, the full service one?
So I
Well, I
think I would go back
oh,
to
sorry, go ahead.
Universal. Sorry. I'm like, I'll talk about the
No, that's
food.
okay.
I'm pretty sure I'd go back to Universal just for the grilled cheese at Mythos. It was like amazing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to Google a picture because I'm like a grilled cheese snob, if that's a thing. Like the only thing I care about is like how you mess up grilled cheese or not. And that one passed by far.
Pass the Nikki test for grilled cheese.
Yeah, it is. I'm like a 5-year-old. I'm like, you can't put peppers in my grilled cheese. Like, come on, people. So they passed. It was really good.
That's good. Any other favorites?
I was just going to say, I really enjoyed Cowfish when we went there. We got a big burger and they have the best fried pickles anywhere if you like fried pickles. And it was absolutely delicious. And I'm probably going to mispronounce this one because I'm from Georgia and we mispronounce everything. So, but Antojitos, I think is how you pronounce it. Is that right?
I think
Did
so.
I say that right?
I'm from Tennessee,
All
so I may
right,
not
good
do
deal.
much better.
Yeah, Utah. I mean, we're just like way out of it. So who knows?
So
We'll go with
anyway,
it.
but it's delicious. I mean, it was just absolutely delicious. So if you like Mexican food, so
I also like the NBC Sports Grill. It's just kind of a fun, relaxed atmosphere. The food is very good. I like how people are kind of standing out on the open patio there. So I think their food's pretty good too. And it's kind of fun to go there. It's a little bit more relaxed.
And I love Toothsome. Toothsome is one of my favorite. I
yeah.
love the theming in there. I love the food there.
Yeah.
I love the desserts there. It's one of my favorite places to eat when we're at Universal. And that's another thing, we haven't really talked, we haven't given an extensive, list of where you can use the dining plan. But I mean, obviously that information is available and that information does change relatively often. So if we were to try and give you an exhaustive list right now, it might be different by the time you actually go on your trip. And so, that's definitely something to make sure that, that's another perk to booking your trip through a travel agent, is because, before you make your dining reservations, you can ask your travel agent to verify for you that the place that you're making a reservation is going to take your dining plan. And that's just another part of the free services that we offer to people who book their reservations through us, is that we, keep up to date with things like that. But there is a great variety of both quick service and table service locations that do accept these dining plans. There is a caveat to that, though. So where can you not use this? We were talking about this before we started. Where can you not use these dining plans that people need to probably know?
Resorts.
Yeah, can't use it at the resorts. And that's obviously different from other parks in the Orlando area where you can use their dining plans at their resort hotels. You can't do that at Universal. But at Universal, you have some really cool flexibility with those dining plans that you don't have at parks down the road. You guys already mentioned those credits roll over. So if you don't use all of your credits in one day, you can definitely use those again. What are some of the other flexibility options that are offered for people?
I like how not everyone in your party has to have the dining plan. So if you have 4 adults going, maybe 2 of them want to use the dining plan, 2 of them don't, and that's perfectly fine, even if you're on the same reservation. Sometimes kids are picky eaters, or they don't eat a whole lot, so you don't want to buy them the dining plan, and you don't have to do that as well. So I love that. I think it's great, and I think it's great that if I don't eat my snack on Monday, I can eat 2 snacks on Tuesday, and so forth. So, and I can eat my kids' snack on Wednesday. So it's really convenient and very flexible compared to other plans.
That's right. I totally agree with that. So speaking of snacks, let's talk about some of our favorite places to use those snack credits at Universal. What are some of your favorite snacks?
Butterbeer.
Yep.
You got to have the frozen butterbeer at the Hopping Pot. That's where I usually get mine. And then the butterbeer cart in Hogsmeade. I always get one there too. So yeah, I have to have one at both, Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade. You got to have one at least in both places. So the butterbeer ice cream is also so good that you can get at in Diagon Alley. It is so yummy. I love that. And the strawberries and cream ice cream there is very good too. It's a soft serve. So, and it comes in like a big waffle cone. So it's a nice size snack. So yeah, those are my favorites.
Awesome.
I agree. Usually it ends up being ice cream. I want to say it's called Florian. It's really good. I think that's what you're talking about, Katie, with the big cones. That's a good use of your dining plan. It comes in very handy when you want a nice big ice cream cone.
Yep.
Especially in the heat of Florida.
Yes.
Eat it quick.
Yeah, I agree. I always use my snack credits on butterbeer, but I mean, there are other options. Like we all love the butterbeer.
yeah.
Not everybody does. There are soft pretzels that you can use those on. There's all kinds of choices. So if you want a savory snack, you can get it. If you want a sweet snack, if you want a beverage as a snack, like with the butterbeer, you can totally use it for that. And I mean, a butterbeer is what, like $8? Is that right?
$8.
Yeah.
$7.99. Yes.
Yeah. So when you think about, if I'm hanging out in Hogsmeade and I want to have breakfast at the Three Broomsticks, I'm probably going to pay about, $18 for my entree. Plus I'm going to buy a cup of coffee. Plus I'm probably going to get a butterbeer at some point. I've pretty much paid for my dining plan at that point, and I still have another beverage that I can use or a second snack that I can use if I want to. So, that leads into our next question, which is kind of how are those credits redeemed? Because obviously right now, with mobile order being such a big part of the park experience, if we want to use those credits and max that value, can we do that with mobile order, or how does ordering work right now with the dining plan?
It's a little different.
Right now,
Go ahead, Katie.
you can't use it with the mobile order as of right now, but it was not a huge issue though when we went, because we went in July last year as well. And when we went, we walked to the counter, we ordered, we swiped, we sat down, and they brought it to us. It was not a huge inconvenience to do it that way. So if you I wish they would do it the other way with the mobile. It would make sense, but right now they don't offer that. So you just kind of have to go to the counter.
I think you're right, Katie. I think they did a very good job at handling it. As long as you knew that's what you had to do, it wasn't really that big of a deal. A little inconvenience, but nothing worth not getting the plan because you have to do that. They took care of you pretty well.
Right. And also too, my husband and I, we went down in July, I got the dining plan and he didn't, because we wanted to do like a cost comparison at the end of the day and see, who came out better with the dining plan or without the dining plan. just, so I could advise clients. And
Right.
we
Yeah.
actually found that, I was on many occasions able to go up to the counter because there's no line at the counter because everybody else is
Mm-mm.
mobile ordering. So I was able to
Mm-hmm.
go up to the counter, have ordered my food and be seated, and in some cases have my food already brought to me before he had been able to get the app to work for him to actually be able to mobile order. So like in that case, it ended up being, actually less of an inconvenience to have the dining plan because I could walk up and order,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a lot smoother process for us. Of course, that was in the early days of mobile
Right.
order when I think they were still kind of figuring all of that out. From what I understand,
Right.
the process is infinitely better now than it was when it was first introduced. But, that's another thing to kind of think about. So our last question before, we look and see if we have any comments or kind of wrap this up tonight is, do you think that the universal dining plan is a good value, and why or why not?
I'm going to say yes. I think I'm also the type of person I'd rather not have to deal with worrying about how much this is and how much that is. And it's offered so many places that there was not a problem of, oh gosh, I can't eat here, I can't eat there, because there was tons of other places that we could use it. And I like the flexibility of it. And I just like to get the extra butter beers and things like that, that maybe I'd be hesitant to spend $8 for everybody to get a butter beer. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm just a big fan of
Mm-hmm.
it. I think it makes life a little bit easier when you travel. And I've always enjoyed it every time I've gotten it. So for me, I'll just keep doing that. That's for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
I agree 100% with everything that Tracy said. I enjoy going ahead and having an idea of what I want to eat. And then
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about paying for it when I get there because I already have the card to go and get what I had already planned on eating. Um, I also just make sure that everybody knows that, if you're not going to a park that day, if you're doing a resort day, that's the great thing about this plan. You don't have to get a plan for every day you're there. So if you're not going to be at the park, since you can't use it at the resort, you can use it at some of the places in City Walk. But if you're really planning a resort day, you may want to not get the dining plan for that day because you may not want to go to City Walk. You may just want to
Mm-hmm.
hang out there at the hotel, and you can plan for that as well. So I like that flexibility to not have to have it every single day if I don't want to, if I'm not going to go to be at a park.
Mm-hmm.
So
I also
Nikki,
like
did
that
you?
you can use it at Volcano Bay too. One
Yes,
thing
we didn't even
is,
talk about that.
yeah, because I always forget that too, because we're always talking about Universal Studios or Islands of Adventure. But it's nice that you can also go to Volcano Bay and enjoy that different types of food there and still use
Mm-hmm.
your dining plan.
Yeah. And two, if people are wondering, why can't you use those dining plan credits at the hotel? Unlike at other parks where everything is owned by the company, including the hotels, at Universal, their hotels are actually owned by Lowe's. And so it's a different, Universal owns the property, obviously, but they don't own the actual, don't manage the running of the hotel. And so that's why, you can't use that Universal credit at those hotels, and you can't at every location in City Walk for the same reason, but you can, they do have a deal with some of the locations in City Walk where you can use that dining plan credit there. And I agree, I think that the official number is that the dining plan can save you about 20%, up to 20%, versus paying out of pocket for the same items. Just keep in mind, though, a lot of that value depends on how you use it, what you're using it for. And I think that's another example of where working with somebody who is a travel professional who knows the parks, knows how much things cost in the park, is actually able to kind of advise you as to which restaurants are going to be that best use of that dining plan credit for you. So thank y'all for sharing all of your advice with us tonight. I'm going to look over here at the comments real quickly and see if we have any questions that have come through. I don't see any yet, but all right, let's see. Make sure I haven't missed any. Okay. Just keep in mind, though, even if you're not able to catch us live, if you come across this video later, you can always pop those questions in the comments later, and we'll be happy to go back and answer those for you even after the live has ended. These videos do stay in the group forever, and so you can just search for Universal Dining Plan. You can also search for some of the other topics that we've done other weeks where we've talked about resorts and other things like that too, and you can ask those questions at a later date. But thank you so much for joining us tonight for Sundays with MMT. We have a lot of fun talking about theme park food because we all love theme park food, particularly theme park snacks. So if you'd like to get information about planning a trip from any of the agents that you heard from tonight, our contact information is at the beginning of the video, so you can go back and check for that. And just remember that our services are completely free when you book your vacation through us, and booking your vacation through us is the same exact price that you would pay to book and service it yourself on Universal's website. Next week, we're actually going to be in our honeymoon planning group, and Katie's actually going to be joining us again. We're going to be talking about the best sandals resort for a honeymoon. So if you or someone you know is planning on getting married soon and planning a honeymoon, that would be a great session for you to come and check out. And in 2 weeks, on Easter Sunday, we will actually be back in this group talking about giving an overview of the preferred and prime value on-site resort hotels. So feel free to come back in 2 weeks and check us out again. But thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you again really soon for another episode of Sundays with MMT. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.